What's up, brothers and sisters? Peace and solidarity. Happy Friday. It's good to see everybody. Shout out to everybody out in the UK that's been leaving comments. I love seeing views on these videos in the middle of the night. I know that's not my coworkers. So thank you for leaving comments and letting us know that you're catching this across the pond. I really appreciate all working people adding their voice to this conversation. We have a lot to talk about and a lot to go over today, so I'm going to blast right into it. All week we've been talking about class politics versus electoral politics, the idea of the working people and the idea of like the government or the state. And I think that we as workers need to pay a lot more attention and focus a lot more on class politics and really make sure that we're an active participant in our electoral politics as well. Yesterday we used an analogy of the hammer and the anvil. The hammer is the working class or class politics, the people, and we are used to strike against the anvil. The anvil is the state, that's the government. And through that action, through the people's force of will being imposed upon the anvil, the state, we get policy and laws and the society that we all exist in. Problem is, if we as the working class don't take control of that hammer, you have a billionaire class, an elite ruling class that is very, very eager to shape society. And so they will be the ones in control if they can make it so. So we have to make sure that we control the hammer. That's our prerogative as a working class. And today, I said that today we were going to go over some examples from the past and as well as some ideas for the future. And so I want to just lay those out real quick. We did talk about the civil rights movement and how that hammer striking against the anvil led to the Civil Rights Act. That's a very direct example. And now I'd also like to attach that to Social Security. So right after the Great Depression, we had a society that was literally starving. We had people that were struggling to survive. And through that outcry, through that struggle, through the rising up of the people saying that this is enough, we're not going to take it anymore, the anvil was forced to shape what we know now as Social Security. It is the guaranteed pension, the guaranteed retirement, thanks for throwing that in my face, brother, in the comments a couple days ago, that we get as working people, as citizens of this country, once we reach the age of 65. That is a direct result of the actions of working people on the other side of the Great Depression, and shout out to FDR for helping push that into law. But that is a really good example of how the hammer and the anvil work together to shape society. Let's talk about that with wages now. We've got people out here, let's say all McDonald's workers got together and they went on strike to get $25 an hour. That's class politics. Electoral politics is the fight for 15, the idea that the minimum wage for the country should be $15 an hour. What if we put those two things together and all working people called a national strike, and the next day the minimum wage in the country was raised to $25? That's how we can combine the two.